Motherhood absolutely made me miserable. And I finally feel free enough to share that after almost 5 years in. Okay, I became a mother in March of 2021. Almost 5 years in, I finally feel comfortable with admitting the fact that becoming a mom made me miserable. And it's now, just now, coming up on 5 years and three babies later, that I finally feel like I am not getting back to myself, but becoming the new version of myself that this season requires of me. And that is the purpose of these conversations that I feel so led to have now that I am starting to feel like I'm getting myself together. I keep wanting to say getting myself back, but there is no going back. Motherhood requires a rebirth. You think you're giving birth to that baby, but you're really giving birth to a new version of yourself. And the crazy part is, every kid requires a new version of you. Every baby that you birth is going to require you to birth a new version of yourself. And that's the part of the conversation that nobody really talks about, that we are just not having, especially in the Black community. And it's because of that that I feel like I fell deep into a hole. I'm not going to say I fell into depression, but I fell into something. Okay. I fell deep into a hole and I was dealing with feelings that I had never heard anybody talking about. I had heard of postpartum before. I had heard of the baby blues, but what I was feeling and experiencing didn't quite align with what I had heard or what I thought that meant. And so now that I'm 5 years in as a mother, and now that I'm on this side and I've had these conversations with so many other mothers who feel the same. A lot of us are millennial moms. I don't know how being a millennial is impacting us as mothers, but I feel like it's like a secret society. Like when you're outside the club looking in, it just looks like it's all fun and games. It's rainbows, it's sunshines, it's fairy tales, it's where you want to be. But once you get into the club, you realize like, people sitting around in here. Ain't nobody having fun. Everybody got the stank face. Ain't nobody dancing. This is miserable. The motherhood club is much more miserable on the inside than it appears to be on the outside. And I'm ready to have some conversations about it. A couple months ago, maybe even a year ago, I was doing some freelance writing for XO Nicole. And one of the conversations that I had had previously on my podcast was around motherhood just making you miserable. So when I started writing for XO Nicole, I'm like, this is a conversation that needs to be had on this major platform. My podcast, sure, it's a major platform, but XO Nicole obviously is like an international platform that so many people have access to and read on a daily basis. And the feedback that I got from people who read this article about how millennial mothers were miserable, people just came out the woodworks with their real truth, with their authentic story of how motherhood has impacted them. And y'all, I got notes over here because it's been so long since I've been live on YouTube. I had so much that I wanted to share, and I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything. But my version of misery in terms of motherhood, for me, I felt like I lost my freedom. And again, I'm 5 years and three kids in, and I'm just now starting to feel like I'm getting my life back. Like I'm getting what they say, the flamingos, they get their pink back. I'm just now starting to feel like I'm getting to that place. And so I wanted to kick off this 30 days of lives with hopefully an empowering conversation for other mothers, whether you're millennial moms or not, definitely for Black moms, because we have been bred to believe that we have to be able to do it all. We have to be able to do it all with a smile. We have to be able to do it all without complaining. We have to be able to do it all without asking for help. We just have to be superheroes. And if we ain't doing it all, we ain't doing enough. And when you add a child to that equation, it can be a recipe for disaster. And so for the millennial Black moms out there who feel like motherhood stole something from them, who once thought that motherhood was just going to give you everything. Motherhood came through like a thief in the night, baby. Stole your body, stole your mental health, stole your brains. A lot of times we talk about mommy brain, like some of us still ain't got our brains all the way back together, okay? We're still cloudy, we're still foggy, and we feel like we have been like left in the dust. For me as an entrepreneur, motherhood really hit me hard because it knocked me off my feet in terms of my business, my creativity, my clarity. I felt like my passion left me. I felt like my purpose left me. I felt like I left me. Like the version of myself that I had gotten used to, comfortable with, and confident in for 35 years was no more. And so now I'm trying to pick up the pieces while also being responsible for this baby. Bringing that baby home gave me so much anxiety that I was not prepared for. Again, I'm not going to claim depression. I will never say I experienced postpartum depression, but I definitely experienced postpartum anxiety with the stress of having to keep this child alive. I say on my own, but obviously I have a husband, so I don't want him to see this and be like, girl, what, on your own? But he left, he went to work, and I was home alone with that baby. Having to keep that baby alive stressed me out, and I know that I'm not the only one that has experienced this. I felt like I lost myself. I felt like I was through an identity crisis. Like I literally did not know this version of myself, because for the longest time, my entire pregnancy, I had convinced myself that once I have this baby, I'm just going to go back to being my old self, just with a baby. What I did not realize is that in order to birth that baby, the old version of myself had to die. So with every birth, it requires a death. It requires a death of that version of yourself. And not just when you become a mother, but every time you birth a baby. So if you got 10 babies, it's going to be 10 new versions of yourself that you get to meet. With every new baby, you meet a new mama. That is how it works. And nobody told me this. Nobody warned me. So I want to warn you. I'm seeing all of these posts all over social media where it's like, the business owners, the businesses are failing. I'm closing my business. I'm going back to work. I'm getting a 9 to 5, the recession, the economy. But that, in my opinion, that feeling of like this chapter of my life is over. I got to close up shop. I feel like that's what happens every time we have babies. What entrepreneurs are currently experiencing with this recession, and it's like, oh my God, my business is not doing what it used to do. I'm not making money. I can't sustain. I got to go back to work. I got to apply for a job. I lost myself. That identity crisis of like, I was booming at one point and now I'm broke. That to me summarizes motherhood. Every time you birth a baby, you are birthing a new version of yourself, and nobody warns you about the death that you will experience while you are bringing forth life. The biggest shocker for me was me mourning my old life. It was me mourning the single version of myself. It was me mourning the freedom that I once had. Now I can't even get up and use the bathroom without thinking about this baby. I can't go take a shower. I can't run to the store. Remember the luxury of like pulling up to the gas station and running in real quick? Ain't no more running in real quick. That season has passed. That chapter is closed. And there were just so many changes, so much newness that I now had to get accustomed to and get comfortable with. And it's an uncomfortable conversation that, again, most moms are not having. Not until you become a mother do other mothers feel like they can keep it real. Because up until that point, it's like, no, I don't want to turn you off. I don't want you to be jaded. I don't want to say anything negative about being a mom. But once you become a mother, then people will keep it real. Well, baby, share this video, share this conversation with someone who is not a mother yet, so that I can warn them about what it might look like. Now, I'm not saying everybody's experience with motherhood is miserable. My current experience with motherhood is not miserable. But my entrance, my welcome into motherhood was definitely miserable. And so over these next 30 days, my goal, my challenge for myself is to go live every single day for 30 days. As you can see, I am in my car. This is very low maintenance, okay? I got a whole studio, a whole office in my house. But guess what? Motherhood, these kids are requiring that I broadcast live from my car, okay? Because the kids won't be quiet. These are all elements of motherhood that can mess with your mental health. It can set you back. It can slow you down. It can have you feeling like you're the only one sitting on the sidelines while everybody else life just keeps on lifing. And so for the next 30 days, we're going to be talking about this fourth trimester. I'm literally 6 weeks postpartum right now. So I am deep in my fourth trimester. We're going to be talking about the fourth trimester. We're going to be talking about nursing, breastfeeding. I've been posting a lot about my current breastfeeding journey, but this is my third time at the rodeo. The first two experiences were very different. So sharing those conversations. We're going to be talking about maternity leave and the lack thereof. The United States is literally the most developed country in the world who has no maternity leave. Like, we literally have 0 weeks of maternity leave that is required to be paid in the United States of America. I just saw a post on Threads of a woman in Canada who just had a baby, probably the same time I had my baby, and she's not going back to work until 2027. Do you hear me? 2027. Canadians get more than a year of paid maternity leave because Canada understands that in order for children to be raised in the healthiest possible way, their mother needs to be at home with them. In America, we are expecting strangers to keep our 6-week-old baby so that we can go back to work. It's actually insane. And it will drive you insane when you are not having these conversations, when you are just in your head spiraling, okay? Thinking about all of the misery that you are experiencing as a mother and feeling like you're the only one going through it. So we're going to be talking about it. I would love to know what y'all want to talk about. So whether it's commenting here on YouTube, DMing me on Instagram, commenting back on one of my threads, like, let me know one of the topics that you want to talk about over these next 30 days. But what I want to kind of leave you with for this first day one live, I want you to consider the difference between your to-do list and your to-be list. Your to-do list and your to-be list. Because a lot of us, and I'm looking at you, Black woman, a lot of us focus on the to-do list. We got a laundry list of things that we know we need to do, but we don't often consider our to-be list, who we need to become in order to live the version of this life that we want to live, that we desire to live. And I want you to ask yourself, what is this season requiring you to become? Who are you required to become in this season? Because what I have realized, motherhood made me miserable because I was not yet ready to accept the version of the woman that I had to become to step into motherhood. When we are so busy trying to hold on to those outdated versions of ourselves, that's when we're miserable. When we have those unrealistic expectations that now we're going to get right back into our old life without accepting the fact that this new life requires a new version of ourselves, that's when we find ourselves being miserable. We have the choice to change the way we are showing up. It is truly a choice to change the way we are showing up by changing our thoughts about how we are showing up. It all starts with our mindset. So if we can wrap our minds around the fact that motherhood requires a new version of ourselves, and each child, not just becoming a mother, but each child requires a new version of ourselves, when we can accept that fact, we can align ourselves with that new version. So that is the question that I've had to ask myself. That's the question that I want to challenge you to ask yourself. Who is this new season requiring you to become? What is on your to be list? Are you being required to be more patient, more flexible, more graceful, more intentional, more assertive? Who is this season requiring you to become? One of the things that I am most excited about is me getting back into entrepreneurship. If you have been following me, if you have been subscribed to my podcast, to my YouTube, to my Instagram, then you have probably seen the change over the last 5 years. I have not been as passionate. I have not been as excited. I have not been as clear as I once was. And again, I am 5 years in and just now feeling like I'm starting to become that new version of myself. Not get back to that old version that I was, but I'm just now starting to feel like I'm becoming the woman that God is requiring me to be in this season, that my babies require of me in this season. And so as I am getting back up, okay, because I was knocked down, baby. Motherhood had me down on the floor. But now that I'm gathering myself and getting back up, I'm excited to be taking y'all on this journey with me. I am excited to be relaunching this YouTube. This is literally probably my first live video all year. Okay. But I'm excited about it. And the excitement, the passion is what is going to drive me. It's what's going to drive you as you get your pink back. Okay. So one of the things I want to share with y'all, two quick things. Now this one look a little janky. Okay, I've been trying to stay back away from the camera because this eye is a little janky. But I have an eyelash wig on. Have y'all ever heard of an eye wig? I know you haven't because it's the first ever. But I posted about this on Black Friday when I posted some Black businesses to watch and shop with and support. Can y'all see it? It's literally an eyelash wig. So I'm going to tag her company below because it's a Black woman owned company. Y'all know I love promoting Black businesses, especially if it's a Black woman owned business. I'm going to tag her below so y'all can check it out. But you can see the difference. It's literally like an eyelash sticker that has eyeshadow on it already. I'm doing a terrible job showing y'all. But it literally has like eyeshadow on it already. Bomb. If you have a business, if you are a Black business owner, I'm hosting something this month called Black Holiday 2025. It's a virtual celebration of Black businesses. So if you want to be featured, I would love to feature your business. I'm going to be doing it across platforms, Instagram, here on YouTube, as well as on my podcast. I will put the link to that down below as well. If you are interested in being featured, you can definitely sign up and let me know. Lastly, my podcast is like one of my favorite things in the whole world. I probably get more out of my podcast at this point than y'all do. Like I get so much. It's like my diary, and me being able to share with you all is truly therapeutic for me. So if you are not subscribed to Girl Stop Playing, wherever you listen to podcasts, definitely make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube. I'm going to be live every day for the next 29 days now. I'm going to be live every day. We're not going to be here long, but we're talking about all things motherhood, from the misery to the happiness, because motherhood definitely has highlights, obviously. But I also want to make sure I'm just keeping it real for the people who are not yet mothers and who want to be able to make informed decisions. And even if you're not discouraged, because I don't want to discourage you from being a mom, obviously, but I want you to have a realistic understanding of what's on the other side of that delivery, because we only talk about getting pregnant, IVF, infertility. We talk about the pregnancy itself, the baby bump, the baby registry, the gender reveal. We talk about all of that, and somehow the fourth trimester never enters the conversation. Somehow the real ish about motherhood never enters the conversation. Somehow the conversation about your village like abandoning you after that baby shower, we never have that conversation. So you end up miserable thinking that you are failing at motherhood, when in reality, our society has failed mothers because we're not preparing mothers. We are not supporting mothers. We're not celebrating mothers. Okay. We're not doing our part as the villagers. Okay. The village is not villaging, and we need to make sure we're doing better. I appreciate you for lasting this long, for sticking it out to the end of this video. Your girl's a little rusty. Okay. I'm probably going to be live in my car every day because my kids are loud. My house is loud. I had to literally come out here in the cold. It's like 40 degrees in Atlanta. But I am determined to shake off this misery, okay, and get back on the horse. So if you are ready to step outside of your comfort zone, if you are ready to step off of the sideline and step back into the game, let's get back in the game together. I love you. Got nothing but love for you, and I will see you on tomorrow's live. Peace. Share this stream with a friend.